Hey everybody, Steph here. Feels like it's been forever since I sat here and did a video with y'all. But I want to talk to you today about the Smoky Mountain 900 miler. So, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, whatever it was, in one of our trips up to the mountains, I told Billy, you know what? I think I just want to hike all the trails in the park. That's what I want to try to do. At the time, I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it was like an official, you get like kudos and like certificates and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know you even could do that. I just wanted to try to hike everything in the Smokies. So, in trying to figure out, what are all the trails and is there even a map for all the trails, I did find a map, and a lot of the visitor centers, they have this map. It's $1. So I'm like, oh, hey, that's fantastic. I can just use that as a guide. And then I started just trying to find some YouTube videos on the different trails, just to kind of get an idea of what I was getting myself into. And I ran across this thing called the 900 miler. And I'm like, what is this? So it was, just random people just saying that they were doing the Smoky Mountain 900 miler. And they didn't really say what it was. So I was a little confused. So I started doing some research online. And there is actually Smoky Mountain Hikers. I think it's SmokyMountainHikers.org. I'll drop the link right here somewhere. And it's like an official thing. You get like a certificate of completion. You get like stickers and patches. I mean, it's like a big deal. And there are people that have completed this thing like not just once or twice. There are some people that have completed this thing like 5, 10, 15 times. So it's been going on for years and years and years. It is called the Smoky Mountain 900 miler. Over the years, they have closed a few of the trails, so it has reduced in mileage. Hopefully one of these days they're going to open some of the trails back up, so it'll go back up. But as it sits now, I think the last time I looked, you're sitting at right at like 820 something miles, I think is what it sits at now with some of the closures. So, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to drop some screen grabs and stuff in here of what the 900 miler is and how to kind of keep track of your miles. There is no official, you have to check in with them, after every hike. Basically, it is an honor system. There are a couple of different ways that you can keep track of your mileage. On the 900 miler website, on the Smoky Mountain Hikers website, they actually have an Excel file that you can download, and you can just go in and fill in your miles and keep up with it that way. You can do your own spreadsheet, however you want to do it. Me personally, I've seen several videos. I mentioned her on here a couple of times. Cindy Hikes is on YouTube. I like the way she kind of keeps up with hers. At the end of her videos, she'll put, her 900 miler miles along with her total miles. Because if you do like an out and back, let's say you do Laurel Falls, just the little quick Laurel Falls out to the falls and back, you count the miles one way. It's not an out and back, so you count the full amount of miles. So you don't count your backtrack miles. A lot of the trails intersect with each other, and you have to go across one to get to the other. So if you've already done, let's say you've already done the entirety of the Appalachian Trail, but you have to get on the AT to get to another point that you need, another trailhead that you need to kind of veer off of, you don't count the miles that you've already completed, basically. So I hope that doesn't confuse you like I think I just confused myself. I don't know. Anyway, so it looks fairly straightforward, looks fairly easy as far as keeping up with it, not the hiking. I've done some of the hikes. They're not all easy. Some of them, yes. Most of them, no. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to show you some screen grabs and just kind of take you around the map. I would show you the paper map, but I think it'd be hard to read. But you can do the PDF on the computer. And I didn't have to pay for it on the computer, but I do recommend get you a paper map, pay the $1. Even if you want to download the free one, pay the $1, give the park the $1. So once you do that, you basically submit all of your information to the organization, and there is a fee. It's not a big fee. I think it's like $15 or $25 that you submit along with all of your documentation, and then you're recognized. So as you're going through, when you get close to the end, there's several Facebook sites as well that you can kind of encourage each other or talk about the different trails. And you know, if you put your stuff out there, I've seen it several times that, hey, I'm doing my last hike. I'm gonna finish here. You know, people like show up and make a big deal out of you finishing your 900 miler. It's a pretty cool thing. I would love to be there when people finish there. So I try to keep my eye out and see if anybody's finishing in any of the times that we're going to be up in the mountains. So far, I haven't been able to make it to any of them, but I would love to be there and kind of cheer somebody on and just, you know, hey, great job. I want to be just like you when I grow up. So I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be really neat. I'm going to call it my first official hike starting next week. I have done multiple trails in the Smokies. Some of them I haven't done for years. So I may go back and kind of just revisit those just to say, okay, well, you know, 10 years ago I did this trail, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to go back and do it. It's just, you know, especially the little short ones. The only one I may not go back and do is Rich Mountain because that one kicked my butt. But you know, that was so recent, I think I can count that. That was back in December, and this is April, so I think I can throw that one in as a completed trail. So something that I've seen other people do, of course, is they take their paper map, and after they're finished with the hike, they kind of mark it, highlight it, whatever you want to do, just to be able to sit back and look and say, okay, I've completed these trails, and you don't have to kind of go over it. There's a lot of different areas of the Smokies that we tend to stay in a couple of just, you know, 2 or 3 little spots that we really, really enjoy. And this is going to kind of force us to branch out. And, you know, there's going to be backcountry camping. It's not always really perfectly feasible to do day hikes to do this. There are times that you're going to kind of have to do the backcountry camping. It's very affordable. You know, right now it's $4 a night to do the backcountry camping, but I know they are talking about increasing the pricing. And even if they double it to $8 a night, it's still, I mean, come on. It's not expensive to go and backcountry camp. So let me show you some of the map and the website that you can find some more information. I hope this was a little bit more informative than some of the stuff that I have been able to find just as far as the specifics. You can watch people hike and get great information on the trails, but as far as the specifics of how to mark your stuff and to go through all that, hopefully this video will be a little bit more informative on that part of it. You know, the logistics of planning out your trail is going to be all on you. Just simply because the way I hike and the way I want to do things is not going to be the same the way that you want to do it. So, you know, I recommend looking at it. Where are you going to be? Like, we're gonna camp in Cades Cove when we go up next week. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to do a lot of the hikes over there. Now, I know there was one that I watched a few days ago with that had several creek crossings. We've had up there, they've had a lot of snow and a lot of rain. And at the time, one point of this creek crossing that was like 30 foot across, roughly, and the lady that was in it, I know, was taller than me, and she was almost hip deep in the water. I'm not afraid to do a creek crossing, but I don't want to freeze to death halfway through my hike. So I am a weenie when it comes to cold weather. I got to learn to get over it. But I don't know that I want to go hip deep, waist deep on me maybe, in freezing water and then hike another, 6 or 7 miles to get back to the trailhead. So that might be something I might skip to a different part of the park just to avoid the creek crossing till it gets a little bit warmer. So let's look at some of the website and let me show you what's going on there. Okay, so what we have here is just the PDF that you can download on the computer. of the Smoky Mountain National Park. This is the exact same map that you buy for $1 on at the visitor centers. So you can go in and you can drill in, just so of course you can see it. This is really hard to see if you're looking at the entire map. So let's say you want to go over to the Cades Cove side of it and just kind of zoom in a little bit more so that you can kind of really see the trails and the distances and all that kind of good stuff. So this is great to be able to get an idea of how long the trails are, where exactly they're located, where they come out at, the different trailheads, in conjunction with where everything else is. So, of course, here's Cades Cove. And you can see all of the different trails that come out around Cades Cove. Of course, you got Abrams Falls, which is one of the most popular, I guess, in the area. So, anyway, you got an idea. So then you can just go to the different sides of the park. Like here's Cataloochee, and you know, I had no idea there were this many trails over there. Again, it was one of those things that you tend to kind of stay where you've really enjoyed yourself and that kind of thing, and that's what we've always done. And when I started looking at the map, I was like, man, there's just so much that we have never really just went and explored. So you know, you go out and you explore some, and you can kind of see where you would need to do some backcountry camping. That's what all of these numbers are here. Let me do a little okay. So what these numbers are here are the backcountry sites. So that's just really nice to be able to know kind of where you need to be able to camp and stay, so you can plan your trip and your different hikes fairly easily as far as where you want to go and stay. And then what a lot of people do, well, they'll come in here and they'll say, okay, I have completed this hike, so they'll come in here and they'll just kind of mark it. So looking around, they'll be able to kind of just at a glance know, oh look, I've done this one, I've done that one. So just as an example, when you get to that point and you want to be able to mark your stuff off, there's several ways you can do it. Again, while I like the computer stuff, I also enjoy really having a paper map. It's just one of those old school things, I guess. You know, call me old fashioned, whatever. While I enjoy technology, I also enjoy the old school way. I still write a lot of stuff down. So here is the example of the Excel sheet. A lot of people may use it, a lot of people may not. They may do their own. But it just kind of lays everything out in alphabetical order as far as the different trails, how long they are, that kind of thing. I don't know that I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to do something a little bit differently to keep up with mine. But as long as you keep that documentation, then you can submit that to the club. And here is their website. This is www.smhclub.org. So you have, you know, the different places that you can go into, you know, preparing for a hike. You can go on hikes with them if they have upcoming events. You know, you can just go in, look and see what they're doing, and you can go and you can hike with them if that's something that you choose to do. But you can learn about being a volunteer. You can learn about the club itself. You can make donations. You can become just a member if you want to. They do have some merch. It's not a ton of merch, but it is some. If it's something that, you know, they do have a couple of t-shirts, a hat, etc. So great website. But again, my main reason for doing this video was basically just to try to give you a little bit more information than what I could find as far as the ins and outs of getting your hike together. You know, like I said, you can watch YouTube videos all day long and see the different trails. That part is not an issue. What was always the issue for me is finding out, you know, what is this even? How hard is it going to be for me to get in there and actually be able to get the hikes done? How do I keep up with them? And so even if I don't use that Excel sheet, it gave me a really good idea of, hey, I can do this. Now, for some folks out there that have kids, you know, there have been younger folks out there that have done this. I think last year, 2 years ago, there was a 14-year-old that completed his map. I'm sure there's younger kids that have done that as well. And you can look all that up on that website that I was on. It actually shows a list of those that have finished the hike and how many times they've done it. So, but if you have really young kids that you don't think can do, you know, a 900 miler, well, you know, that's kind of tough on some of these hikes. You can go into the visitor centers, and there's a little pamphlet, and I think it's just called Hiking the Smokies. And you write in there, you know, what hike you did, how many miles it was, and you could do the same hike. You know, if it's a 2-mile hike, you can do that same hike 5 times, and they will get a little pin that says that you've completed 10 miles. It's free. The book costs you, I think, $1, but the pins and the little stickers and stuff that they give out are free. So that, and they'll give them to adults too. So don't think, oh well, I want a pen. I want something that shows I've done 10 miles in the Smokies. But they do them for a lot of different distances too. So as you're filling out this little book, you know, if you're getting your kids out, just getting started, you know, it's a nice little, you know, hey, give them a reward for finishing, other than, hey, I feel great doing this hike. You know, that might be something fun for them to collect, is those little pins. So I think they do them at 10, 15, 25, 50. I think they have a 100-mile pin. So check it out and get those kids outside. Be looking out for some videos. Hopefully I'll see a bear or two. Who knows? Maybe I'll wrestle a bear. Who knows? You'll have to watch and find out. I'm not going to tell you ahead of time. But guys, get out there, live your great story, and thanks for watching.